Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we're not going to argue the case here now. This is our chance to give you...
Mr. Ackerman, you're going to need,
I'm sorry.
you're going to need to speak up.
Can you hear me? Okay. I was told in advance that I have a tendency to not make myself heard, so please, if I do that, just raise your hand if you can't hear me. Okay, this is our chance to give you our statement, our belief of what the evidence is going to show here today. You've heard from the state. It sounds, wow. The case, we'll save that for the end of the case. But what the evidence is going to show is on August 11th of 2023, a heinous, horrible act was committed by Keith Agee, an 18-year-old, full of himself, egotistical, bombastic, and I could go on, individual.
Sustained.
The evidence is going to show that nobody on this side, whether it be the defendant, her mother, her son, other son, Jack, had any concept that Keith was capable of doing this. Keith, you'll hear the testimony, was a braggart and no, braggart is the wrong word, just full of blustering. I'm going to kill him, I'm going to kill her, I'm going to break their windows out, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, to the point where it was almost, and no one took him seriously. This was him. This was Keith. That's going to be made very clear through the evidence. Now, the state starts by saying that this case began on August 11th. Actually, the evidence is going to show that this case began several years before that, and maybe August the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, okay? There'll be texts that you will get, the state will introduce from August 11th, or just that day, the whole day. There are numerous texts from that one day. Sheila's at work, she manages about 20 people. She's busy back and forth doing these things, and at the same time, her son is texting her about the gonorrhea. Okay. Now, the evidence is going to show, first of all, this begins with a relationship between two teenagers that goes back several years before that. They meet, they like each other, they have sex, they have a baby, they're living together, they're on together, off together. Keith complains about her constantly. You'll see that in the text and you'll see that in the evidence. She's this, she's that. You'll hear him say, "Mom, you take her side all the time. I wish I were her." The evidence will show that Sheila, defendant, Keith's mother, tries all the time when he does this to assuage him, to calm him down. Son, stop it. You're being this, you're being that. You'll hear from the tapes, and I'm going to quote you a couple of them in a second. So there's more than one quote here, to say the least. There's many, many, many texts. And when you listen to those texts, you will see the evolution of this circumstance, how a mother and a son communicate, and how she's been trying forever to calm him down, to keep him from doing things that hurt others and hurt himself. Now, this teenage relationship evolves to the point where they have the child. Keith's happy as heck. I'm a father, this, that, and the other. Then he's not happy. Then it's this, then it's that. They move in together, they move out together. The baby comes. They're together. It reaches a point where he's thrilled that the baby's here, but then he's not happy because maybe it's not mine. You'll hear evidence. Mom assures him, "Son, it's yours. Stop it." He goes months without seeing the baby or the mother, from what I think the evidence is going to show. We know he goes months without communicating with his mother because his mother's upset with his attitude and everything else. Tests come back. It is his son. He's back again. He's gone again. He's back again. He's gone again. Complaining, complaining. this, that, and the other, calling her names, telling Mom what a difficult time. Mom, will you interfere? She's not talking to me. Will you call her for me? Will you do this for me? You'll hear texts where, Mom, will you apologize to her for me? I'm outgrowing all this anger. I'm getting better. I'm good. You have to take all of it. Well, the evidence will show all that. Okay. August 11th, the day that the mom, she gave me gonorrhea. That's the day we're going to focus on for a great deal of time. But before August 11th, there's texts back and forth. Mom, I think she's given me a disease. This, that, and the other. I'm going to get tested. Text back from Mom, get tested, son, stop it. Oh, how could you do this to me? You know, you're nice to effing people, and then they screw you, you know, all that silliness. You'll hear that. Mom has to deal with that. Son, calm down. You'll see it, the texts. It appears that the tests come back that Brooklyn had a vaginal infection, a UTI. Oh, we're all happy. Everybody's happy. Apologize to her, Mom, this, that, and the other. I'm bigger than this. I'll get over it. Without going into all the detail, the evidence is going to show that that was the last word Mom had, and it was August the 8th. So Mom goes about her business. Son's going about his business. Mom's intervened. You'll see to the extent that she tried to help them get together. Stop texting me about this. You're the parents. You're the ones with the responsibility. Stop acting like children. Stop this, stop that. You're going to hear this. It'll be in the evidence. So August 11th comes along, and it starts up again. Mom's working, trying to manage 20 people. They take the inventory. You heard that from the state. And the texts start coming. Oh, boy. When are you getting home? Well, we're finishing up here. Well, let me know when you get home, because I'm going to see her. Okay. Well, yeah, and he goes on in the text, and I can't stand this. I can't believe it. And so I'm going to, when you get home, boy, I'm going to say, Mom, trying to assuage him. This is the blowhard. Tells him, son, stop, you know. Anyway, you'll hear it all. And that's the most important thing in this opening, is to say to you, please pay very, very close attention to the wording in the text, to the nuances, because you'll hear, son, you know, you're gonna kill, what are you gonna do, kill her up there? Say something about, well, then just don't do that. Do it down here. Son, wake up. You'll see this in the text. Conversations go back and forth. And it's very important then you listen closely and slowly to what these texts say. Oh yeah, don't tell your nanny, because you know, she'll just try and talk you out of it. Again, you'll notice from the evidence, from the testimony, you have to make the decision. What does Mom mean with this? At the same time, all of this is back and forth. You better erase your tape, you know, because I don't want to be a part of this stupid conversation. Getting him, anyway, no argument at this point. You just think about what you hear. Let me, State gave you one quote. The evidence is going to include okay, that's fine. This is Sheila texting him, one of the many that you'll be hearing. Okay, that's fine. You the one have to leave your baby and go to prison and have her hate you. You ain't hurting Brooklyn. She'll be dead. No problems for her. The only person you hurting is you and Casey. She'll be lost her mama and daddy, and you won't even get to touch your daughter again. But I swear to God, I don't care. I ain't going to jail. And again, you'll hear this evidence, and then you'll hear more. Yes, you'll hear text. Yeah, well, when we get there, this is before she says, come do it here. Yeah, when make sure I don't get shot, pull her out, you'll hear it back and forth. You don't want to shoot me. What does she say? That's up to you to decide. And don't act like you love Casey. And by the way, Brooklyn is the daughter. Casey is the grandchild. And let me stop right here in my opening. I didn't finish actually articulating the teenagers. They meet each other, they have the baby, he's on and off. While all this is going on, and you'll hear this through the tapes, Mama, you take her side. I wish I were her. I wish I could switch with her. You're always taking, no matter what I do, she can't do wrong. And you'll hear from the testimony and the evidence. This is her first grandchild. You'll hear that in the evidence. You'll hear that she and Brooklyn, over the course of these months, have evolved to a mother-daughter type relationship. You'll hear from the evidence that Sheila encouraged her and put her through high school, helped her through high school. You'll hear from the evidence that she helped support her. You'll hear from the evidence that when she had a job at McDonald's, Sheila was the one that would pick her up, bring her to work, and pick her up from home. This is all, you'll see, an evolving relationship between the mother and the mother of her grandchild. You'll hear from the testimony, she gave her money. She gave her family money. She encouraged her. They became very close. You'll hear from the evidence that there was a jealousy on his part. Sheila, like I said, you don't give an F about the baby. I'm getting you the address when I get back. And I'm showing nobody nothing except you got mental issues. Because you're willing to give up your life and your baby daughter's life and hurt your family over a bitch. But don't worry, I'll make sure she know. Brooklyn gave you something that you had to get a shot for, but that you didn't love her enough to give an F about what happened to her. Talking about the baby, Casey. That she wasn't enough for you. Maybe she should have meant more to you, her mama and daddy would still be here. She wasn't important enough, and you just had to prove a point. I promise you, I'll remind her of that the rest of her life. Which she'll probably end up committing suicide, and she'll be with you all anyway. And give me 10 minutes, and I'll give you the address. You ain't close yet. Sheila, I can't wait to get back to that store to give you the address, because you're going to have to shoot me today. But just know I'll be the first MF you see. Sheila, but I hope you ain't stupid enough to think you ain't going to jail, because that's definitely where you're going. Probably best because something wrong with you. You don't need to be around Kaya. That's his sister, her daughter, or Casey. You're going to hear from the evidence. I've just got a few more. That, again, the evidence will show she's not trying to talk him out of killing Brooklyn. She's just trying to calm him down, because the evidence will show she doesn't believe any of this anyway. The evidence will show he's just that way. He blusters, he threatens everybody and everything. But the evidence will show that he doesn't follow through. When he blusters, it's blustering. That's all this is. The evidence will show she never thought he was even on the way. The evidence will show that she called her mother, Nana, Thelma, who raised basically him, and says, your little boy is threatening to kill Brooklyn. They have a conversation, and you'll hear the testimony that neither one of them believed that it's just Keith. It's just Keith. He won't do that. He ain't even on the way, says Nanny. He just came home and had his lunch. He always does it, the same routine. He left. He's at work. He works at the steel mill, not far at all, a couple of miles, a couple of minutes away. Okay? Sheila goes back to work. She's working. There's more texts. He's not coming. Anyway, back to just the evidence that you'll see. This goes on for a period of 2 hours, starts about 11:30 and ends about 1:15, and then at 1:41 the horrible event occurs. You will see videos of Sheila at work, back and forth. You'll see particularly important video of the time frame that Sheila believed that he would, if he was coming, that he would have gotten there. She goes to the front, paces back and forth for better than a half an hour, either side of when he should get there. He doesn't come. You'll see photographs and you'll be able to make your own determination from them. Finally, you'll see the evidence that she's convinced now he's not coming. Okay, boy. Because if he came, it was going to be confronting her. Because you'll see from the text how she had it evolved to being her. Okay, I can go back to work. And then the horrific gunshots and the turmoil and the horrific results. When you've heard all the evidence here, when you've watched all the videos, the evidence will show that there was no intent whatsoever. There was no plan. There was a young man who, as they said, built himself up, worked himself up, that self-fulfilling prophecy, that me generation that can work themselves up and commit such a heinous act over such a ridiculous, petty thing. You'll see that it was so silly that it had already been discussed. And what I didn't cover in the evidence, I'll cover very briefly before I sit down, is this was August the 11th. August the 8th, she and Keith go through conversations where I'm upset, this, that, and the other. I've never had something like this before. Well, wait until the tests come in, son, before you do anything. And then the tests come back from her that it was a vaginal infection. And he's relieved, apologize, Mom, and, I'm sorry, I see how important it is for me to behave because my relationship with Casey, the baby. And so you're going to have to make a determination from all of this. What was the intent of Sheila in this? We're sure that when you hear all of that evidence, be very clear to you. Very, very clear to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ackerman. Mr. Myers, I'm going to go ahead and read the stipulation instruction. When lawyers or parties agree that certain facts are true, that is called a stipulation of fact. You must accept stipulated facts as having been proven. However, the significance of these facts, as with all facts, is for you to decide. In this case, the stipulated fact that you must accept as true is the state and the defendant, Sheila Agee, stipulate and agree that the following facts are true and admissible at trial without the need of any further proof. The identity of the individual